So here's just a real quick recap of some Arduino basics. If you watched the last little segment, I talked about writing this code, and I talked a little bit about each of them. But if you skip that, I just want to go over it real quick. So void setup, this will be put in automatically when you create a new sketch. This is going to be where we put the code that runs once, and then the void loop is going to be where we put the code that loops forever. Now, over here, I put just 3 commands that we use a lot in this lesson. We're going to do some more in the future, and there's hundreds of different commands, but these are going to be the 3 to use in order to both read from the digital and write to the digital, but then also be able to tell it what you want to do with that digital pin. So for example, the pin mode is what we're going to tell the Arduino what we want to do with that pin. And there's 2 parameters. The first one is the pin, and now those pins are just numbered. So on the Arduino, we saw them 0 through 13. And then if you remember, we've got the analog pins, which are actually have a number of A0 through A5. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. And then the mode, there are a few other modes, but the only 2 you really care about is input and output. So those are going to be the 2 modes. So pin mode 13 output so that we can write to it, and then like pin 2 output or input if we want to read from it, like the switch. Now in order to send a high-low, we're going to use digital write, again the pin and the state, and those states are high and low respectively. And then digital read takes 1 pin, which is what pin you want to know the value of, and then it will return a high or a low. Now I did do a little bit of an example here. Oh, this should be a lowercase I. Hold on, let me fix that. All fixed, perfect. So the code is very, very specific, so it makes sure that you've got your case, all lowercase for the if, and then things like the capital R and the capital M and stuff like that. So you can follow these examples. And the other thing that gets new C programmers a little messed up are the semicolons at the end of every statement, with the exception of things like the if statement. Oh, one more thing, if you're going to make a comparison, it's 2 equal signs, not 1. So sorry about all the things. C and C++ have been around for like 40 years. And to people like me that write written code as long as I have, is just kind of common knowledge. But anyway, digital read 2. So if we had a switch on pin 2, like we've been using, equals high, meaning the switch is pressed. In this case, it's just going to blink the LED. So anyway, there's a few little basics. I'm going to walk you through each of the sections as we write the code. And like I said, you can just honestly copy paste the code if you want. If you are not that interested in code, you can just skip that part. But if you are, happy to explain things as deeply as you would like.